The phenomenon started as a pinprick of impossible light above Manhattan, a tear in reality that expanded into a screaming vortex of colors that had no names in human language. For 3 seconds, every cell phone in a 5-block radius died. Every screen went white. Every car alarm triggered simultaneously. Then something fell from the sky. It wasn't a meteor. Meteors didn't break before impact. Meteors didn't leave a shock wave that shattered windows across Midtown without actually destroying anything. And meteors definitely didn't crash through the 99th floor of Vought Tower, leaving a perfectly circular hole in the reinforced glass, before coming to a stop in the executive boardroom. The figure stood slowly in the crater of broken marble and twisted steel, shaking debris from orange and blue fabric that looked handmade, primitive even. He was compact, muscular in a way that suggested function over aesthetics, with wild black hair that defied gravity. His eyes swept the room with curious confusion, taking in the modern architecture, the shattered table, the expensive artwork now ruined on the walls. "Huh," he said, scratching his head. "This isn't King Kai's planet." Across the city, alarms screamed in Vaught's security center. Red alerts cascaded across monitoring stations. Analysts scrambled to identify the threat level, the origin, the potential danger. Within 90 seconds, the 7 received the call. Within 3 minutes, Homelander stood in the sky outside the shattered boardroom, cape billowing in the wind. That manufactured smile plastered across his face for the news helicopters already circling like vultures. Behind him, Queen Maeve and Black Noir took flanking positions. A-Train vibrated with nervous energy. The deep treaded water far below, completely useless, but present for the cameras. Homelander's eyes blazed red as he floated through the destroyed window, boots touching down on broken glass with theatrical precision. "Well, well," he said, voice carrying that folksy authority that tested at 92% approval with Middle America. "That's quite an entrance. Property damage, reckless endangerment, unauthorized superactivity. Oh, are you strong?" The stranger's face lit up with genuine excitement, completely ignoring the speech. He dropped into a loose fighting stance that looked more like a child's imitation of martial arts than anything tactical. "I can sense energy, but yours is weird, different, like it's not natural." Homelander's smile tightened. No one interrupted him, ever. "I'm Homelander, America's hero, the world's greatest superhero, and you just committed an act of terrorism against. Want to fight?" The silence stretched. Queen Maeve's eyes widened slightly, the only tell she'd give. Black Noir remained motionless, but his body language shifted, predatory awareness bleeding through his stillness. A-Train stopped vibrating. Homelander's smile didn't waver, but his eyes did. Just for a moment. Because this stranger, this nobody who'd literally fallen from the sky, wasn't afraid, wasn't awed, wasn't even impressed. He was looking at Homelander the way a dog looked at a new toy, with excitement, with anticipation, with hunger. "I don't think you understand your situation," Homelander said, his voice dropping an octave, losing the manufactured warmth. "I could laser you in half before." The stranger vanished. One instant he was there. The next he was behind Homelander, poking the cape with genuine curiosity. "What's this made of? Feels like regular fabric. Doesn't your ki reinforce it when you fly?" "Oh." He moved again, impossibly fast, leaving only a gust of wind, and appeared next to Queen Maeve. "You're strong too. Not as strong as him, but still pretty good. What's your name?" "Maeve," she said automatically, years of PR training kicking in despite her complete disorientation. "I'm Goku." He grinned, offering his hand. "Nice to meet you. Are there other strong people here? I was training with Whis when something went wrong with instant transmission, and—" "Enough." Homelander's voice cracked like a whip. His eyes blazed crimson, heat vision lancing across the space where Goku had been standing. But Goku wasn't there anymore. He was floating, actually floating, no wire work, no Vought technology, outside the tower, looking back through the destroyed window with a tilted head. "Oh, you can fly too. That's great. Most people on my Earth can't fly. Well, except the Z-Fighters. And some of the villains. And Hercule has that jetpack, but that doesn't really count. Homelander shot forward, fist drawn back, cape snapping behind him in a pose that would look magnificent on tomorrow's front page. The punch carried enough force to shatter concrete, to pulverize bone, to send any threat spinning into unconsciousness. Goku caught it one-handed, still talking. But actual flight is really useful in combat, you know? Makes three-dimensional movement way easier. Hey, you hit pretty hard. Not like Beerus or anything, but definitely stronger than Krillin. Maybe around Piccolo's level when we first fought? That's pretty good for. The second punch came faster, meaner, with no camera-ready pose. It connected with Goku's face with a sound like thunder. Goku's head snapped back approximately 2 inches. He blinked. Oh, sorry, was that an actual fight? I thought we were just testing. Hold on, let me. He flickered. Not vanished. Flickered. And suddenly Homelander was hurtling backward through the air, the world spinning, pain blossoming in his chest where something impossibly strong had tapped him. Not punched. Tapped. Homelander caught himself 100 yards away, breathing hard, cape in disarray. Below, smartphones captured everything. News helicopters zoomed in. The world watched. And Goku floated in the air, scratching his head with that same confused expression, looking genuinely apologetic. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I'm still getting used to this place's energy. Everything feels different here. Thinner maybe? But you're okay, right? In Vaught's Emergency Response Center, Madeline Stillwell stared at the screens, her perfectly manicured hand frozen halfway to her phone. The biometric readings made no sense. No compound V signature. No technological assistance. No explanation for how this stranger had just swatted Homelander across Midtown Manhattan like he was swatting a fly. Get me everything, she said quietly. I want to know who he is, where he came from, and how we get him under contract before sunset. In a dingy apartment in Brooklyn, Billy Butcher watched the same footage on a cracked phone screen, a slow smile spreading across his face. Well, he muttered, reaching for his jacket. Looks like Homelander just met someone who don't give a fuck about his brand. And above Manhattan, Goku floated in the sky, completely oblivious to the chaos he'd created, still wondering why this planet felt so wrong, why the energy here tasted artificial, and why the strongest person he'd met so far seemed so angry about losing a friendly sparring match. He was going to like this place. Lots of strong people to fight. He just didn't know yet that in this world, strength was the least important power you could have. If you want to see more characters enter unexpected universes, hit that subscribe button and drop the name of a character you'd want to see in the comments below. This is going to be one wild ride. The news cycle exploded within minutes. Hashtag Vought Tower Attack trended worldwide. Conspiracy theorists claimed alien invasion. Religious groups proclaimed the end times. Reddit crashed twice from traffic overload. Every major network interrupted regular programming to show the footage on loop. Homelander, Homelander, being casually swatted across the Manhattan skyline by an unknown in what looked like a homemade martial arts uniform. But it was the analyst in Vaught's Crisis Management Center who noticed the detail that changed everything. He's smiling, she whispered, zooming in on Goku's face frame by frame. Not performing. Not posing. He's genuinely happy. Madeline Stillwell stood behind her, arms crossed, watching the monitors with predatory focus. 20 screens showed different angles of the same impossible event. Homelander's biometrics spiked red, elevated heart rate, shallow breathing, pupils dilated. Combat stress response. Fear response. From someone who'd never shown fear in his entire manufactured life. Get Ashley in here, Madeline said. And someone find out if our mystery guest is still in the building or if Homelander scared him off. Ma'am. A technician raised his hand nervously. He's in the cafeteria. 7th floor. He's been there for 6 minutes. The silence in the control room was absolute. The cafeteria. Madeline repeated slowly. Yes, ma'am. He apparently asked a janitor where he could find food, and the technician pulled up security footage. He's been eating ever since. The Vought Tower cafeteria was designed to feed 3,000 employees across multiple shifts. Industrial kitchens. Buffet lines that stretched 50 feet. Enough food to supply a small army. Goku had discovered all of it. Oh man, this is great. He spoke through a mouthful of something that might have been lasagna, grabbing 3 sandwiches with his free hand. You guys have so much variety. On Earth, we mostly eat. Well, I guess this is Earth, but my Earth. Anyway, the food's way different. What's this orange stuff? The cafeteria worker, a middle-aged woman named Patricia, who'd worked at Vought for 16 years and thought she'd seen everything, stared at the growing pile of empty plates. That's macaroni and cheese? It's amazing. Goku demolished 4 servings in the time it took her to blink. Can I have more? Oh, and more of that bread. And that meat. And is that dessert? You have dessert too. Patricia looked at her coworker, who was filming on her phone with shaking hands. This was going viral. This was absolutely going viral. Sir, Patricia said carefully, are you okay? You just crashed through the 99th floor and fought Homelander. Goku looked up, genuinely confused. Oh, that wasn't a fight. That was just saying hi. He seems nice, though he's got some anger issues. Reminds me of Vegeta when we first met. Does he like fighting too? Maybe we could spar properly later. The elevator chimed. Madeline Stillwell emerged in full corporate armor, blood-red dress, perfect makeup, smile that could cut glass. Behind her, Ashley Barrett clutched a tablet like a shield, and 4 security personnel in tactical gear tried to look intimidating despite the fact that their target was currently discovering the wonder of chocolate pudding. Hello, Madeline said, voice warm and professional. I'm Madeline Stillwell, Vice President of Hero Management at Vought International. And you are? Goku. He waved with a fork. This is incredible. You guys have so much food. On King Kai's planet, we mostly just ate whatever King Kai made, and that got pretty repetitive. Goku. Madeline filed away every detail. The childlike enthusiasm, the complete lack of social awareness, the way he treated attempted murder by America's greatest hero as a friendly greeting. That's an unusual name. Where are you from exactly? Goku scratched his head, leaving a smear of gravy in his hair. That's complicated. I was born on planet Vegeta, but it exploded when I was a baby. Then I grew up on Earth. Well, a different Earth than this one, I think. This place feels really similar, but also really different. Like you have cars and buildings and stuff, but the energy here is all wrong. Nobody has ki. Well, almost nobody. That Homelander guy has some energy, but it's artificial. Manufactured, maybe. Madeline's mind raced. Alien. He just casually admitted to being an alien. But the way he said it, so matter-of-fact, so unconcerned with the implications, suggested either complete honesty or complete insanity. I see. She gestured to the table. May I sit? Sure. Goku pulled out a chair with one hand while simultaneously eating a sandwich with the other. You work here? This is a great building. Really tall. Though it's weird that it's the tallest thing around. Don't you have floating cities or space stations or anything? We have space stations, Ashley interjected, typing frantically. The ISS and several satellites. Oh, that's cool. We have those too. Though after Frisia destroyed Namek, we had to rebuild a lot of the infrastructure in that sector. Wait, do you guys have aliens here? Have you met any? Are they strong? Madeline's smile never wavered, but her eyes sharpened. Goku, I want to ask you something very important. When you came through our tower, was that intentional? Were you trying to make a statement? Gain attention? What? No. Goku looked horrified. I was trying to teleport back to Earth, my Earth, and something went wrong. The technique I use, instant transmission, it lets me teleport anywhere I can sense energy. But this time it was like I fell through a crack, and then I was falling, and I tried to slow down, but I still hit your building. I'm really sorry about that. Is anyone hurt? No one was hurt, Madeline said, though the repair costs were already climbing into 7 figures. But Goku, you need to understand something. This world has very specific rules about superhuman activity. We have laws, regulations, Organizations like Vought International that manage heroes and ensure public safety. Heroes. Goku perked up. You have heroes here? Like the Z Fighters. Similar. Madeline leaned forward, going for the close. Heroes who protect people, who fight threats, who make the world safer. Homelander, who you met upstairs, leads our premier team, the Seven. They're the strongest heroes on the planet. Goku's face fell. Oh, that's disappointing. The words hung in the air like a grenade. Disappointing. Ashley's voice cracked slightly. Well, yeah. Goku grabbed another sandwich, completely missing the sudden tension. If he's the strongest here, then this place doesn't really have anyone who can give me a good fight. Back home, I've got Vegeta and Beerus and Whis, and there's always someone stronger to push me. That Homelander guy, he's maybe as strong as I was when I first learned to go Super Saiyan, and I could do that when I was, like 30. Madeline's smile finally cracked. Just slightly. You're saying you're stronger than Homelander? Oh, way stronger. Goku said it the way someone might say the sky was blue. Simple fact. No arrogance. No posturing. I didn't want to hurt him earlier, so I held back a lot. He seems like he's not used to fighting people who can actually fight back, you know? His technique is pretty sloppy. In the security center, every analyst stopped breathing. The footage was already being analyzed by Vought's top scientists, and the preliminary results were impossible. The impact force when Goku tapped Homelander, the speed of his movement, the complete absence of any known power source. And now this stranger was casually declaring himself more powerful than the most powerful being on the planet, while eating his 14th sandwich. Madeline recalibrated. Fast. Goku, what if I told you that Vought International could help you? We have resources. Technology. We could potentially help you find your way home. Really, for the first time, Goku looked genuinely interested in the conversation. You could do that? That would be great. I've got kids back home, and my wife gets really mad when I disappear for too long. Plus, I was in the middle of training, and Whis is probably wondering where I... But Madeline continued smoothly. That kind of technology, that kind of research, it's expensive. It takes time. And Vought doesn't give things away for free. Goku tilted his head. Okay, what do you want? I want you to join the Seven. The proposition hung in the air between them. Madeline Stillwell wore her corporate smile like armor, already calculating the marketing angles, the merchandise opportunities, the global reach of an actual alien superhero. Ashley frantically typed notes, her mind spinning with logistics and image management. Goku just looked confused. Join them? Like be on their team? Exactly. Madeline leaned back, sensing an opening. You'd work alongside the Seven. Save people. Fight threats. In exchange, Vought provides you with resources, legal protection, housing, and our full research division working on getting you home. Huh. Goku chewed thoughtfully on what might have been his 20th sandwich. That sounds okay, I guess. I like helping people. Back home, I've saved Earth like, I dunno, a lot of times? There was Piccolo, then the Scions, then Frieza, then the androids, then Cell, then Majin Buu, then Beerus. Well, I didn't really save Earth from Beerus, he was gonna destroy it anyway, but we became friends, so that worked out. Wonderful. Madeline stood, extending her hand. Then we have, but I don't really get the team thing. Goku scratched his head again, leaving another food smear. I mean, if I'm way stronger than everyone else, won't I just end up doing all the fighting? That's not really fair to them. And I kind of prefer training on my own, or with people who can actually push me. No offense to your 7 people, but they don't seem strong enough to. Mr. Goku. A new voice cut through the cafeteria, cold and sharp as a scalpel. Homelander stood in the doorway. He'd changed since the confrontation. His suit was immaculate again, hair perfectly styled, that manufactured smile back in place. But his eyes told a different story. They were calculating. Dangerous. The eyes of something predatory that had just learned it wasn't the apex predator anymore. Homelander. Goku waved cheerfully. Hey, are you okay? I didn't hit you too hard, did I? I was really trying to hold back. We need to talk. Homelander's voice carried false warmth that didn't reach his eyes. Hero to hero. Madeline's smile tightened infinitesimally. This wasn't the play. Homelander was supposed to wait for her signal, let her secure the asset first. But she could see it in his posture. The barely contained rage, the wounded pride, the desperate need to reassert dominance. "Of course," she said smoothly. "Homelander, why don't you show our guest around? Give him the hero's tour." "I'd love to." Homelander's smile widened. "Come on, Goku. Let me show you what real heroes do." They flew over Manhattan, and Goku had to admit, the view was pretty spectacular. "So this is New York?" he called over the wind, keeping pace with Homelander effortlessly. "It's way bigger than West City. How many people live here?" 8 million in the city, 20 million in the metro area. Homelander's voice was controlled, professional. The cameras below were watching. Always watching. "This is my city. I protect it." "That's cool. Do you have a lot of strong enemies here? Like world-ending threats?" "We handle terrorists, supervillains, threats to national security." Homelander banked left, and Goku followed. "I've saved this city hundreds of times. Thousands. I'm the greatest hero who ever lived." "Wow, thousands." Goku's eyes widened. "That's amazing. You must get really strong fighting that much. Though I'm surprised you don't have better technique. Have you ever trained in martial arts? I could show you some moves if you—" "I don't need training." The words came out sharper than intended. Homelander caught himself, forced the smile back. "I'm perfect as I am. Vought made sure of that." "Vought made you." Goku's confusion was genuine. "Like, built you? Are you an android? You don't feel like Android 17 or 18. You feel more organic. But your energy signature is definitely artificial." "I'm not a goddamn robot." Homelander stopped midair, hovering. Below them, the city sprawled in every direction, millions of lives going about their business, completely unaware that two beings who could level city blocks were having a conversation that could end in catastrophe. "I'm the result of Compound V, the perfection of human evolution." "What's Compound V?" And there it was. The question that opened the door Homelander had been looking for. He smiled, genuinely this time. "Let me show you." Vaught's Research and Development Division occupied 12 floors in a separate facility across town. Homelander's security clearance opened every door. Scientists in white coats scattered like startled birds as America's greatest hero strode through their sanctum with a strange alien in tow. "This," Homelander gestured grandly, "is where heroes are born." Goku stared at the laboratories, the testing chambers, the rows upon rows of vials containing glowing blue liquid. His expression slowly shifted from curiosity to something else. Something uncomfortable. "You make heroes here? We enhance them." A scientist approached nervously, Dr. Nathaniel Carr, head of Compound V Development. "The serum works on a genetic level, unlocking superhuman potential. Flight, strength, durability, unique abilities, all triggered by introducing Compound V into the human genome." "So," Goku processed slowly, "nobody here actually trains? You just get your powers from a drug." "It's not a drug," Dr. Carr said defensively. "It's genetic enhancement, revolutionary science. We've been perfecting the formula for decades." "But you don't earn it." Goku's voice was quiet. "You don't push your limits. Don't break through barriers. You just take it." Homelander's smile widened. "That's right. We don't need to spend years punching trees or whatever primitive training you did. We're simply better. Born better." "You weren't born with it, though." Goku turned to face him, and for the first time, Homelander saw something in those eyes that wasn't friendly enthusiasm. It was disappointment. "You said Vought made you. So someone gave you this power. You didn't work for it." "I didn't need to work for it." Homelander's voice dropped dangerously. "I was chosen, selected, made perfect." "But that means you never struggled." Goku's frown deepened. "Never pushed past your limits. Never felt yourself getting stronger through hard work. Back home, I started out way weaker than lots of people. Vegeta was stronger. Frieza almost killed me. Cell beat me so bad I had to let my son finish the fight. But every time I got knocked down, I got back up stronger. That's what makes you grow. The struggle." Growth. Homelander laughed, but there was an edge to it. Why would I need to grow? I'm already the strongest there is. The best there is. I don't have limits. Everyone has limits, Goku said quietly. The fun is breaking through them. The silence stretched. Dr. Carr edged toward the door. The other scientists suddenly found reasons to be elsewhere. The air between Goku and Homelander crackled with tension. Not energy, not power, but something more fundamental. The collision of philosophies. You think you're better than me. Homelander's voice was silk over razor blades. You think because you punched rocks on some backwater planet, that makes you superior to... I don't think I'm better than you, Goku interrupted. I just think you could be way stronger if you actually trained. Right now, you're relying on power you didn't earn. That's like if someone gave me Super Saiyan without me having to unlock it. Sure, I'd be strong, but I wouldn't really understand the power. Wouldn't know how to push it further. I am as far as it goes. The words exploded out of Homelander before he could stop them. His eyes blazed red for just a moment before he caught himself, forced control back. I'm the peak. The pinnacle. There is nothing beyond me. Goku looked at him with something like pity. Man, that sounds really lonely. Before Homelander could respond, before he could process the fact that this stranger had just expressed sympathy for him, alarms screamed throughout the facility. Attention all personnel. The PA system crackled to life. We have a code red situation. Supervillain attack in progress. Times Square. Mass casualties reported. The 7, please respond immediately. Homelander's entire demeanor shifted, snapping back into hero mode with practiced ease. That's our cue. Come on, Goku. Let me show you what real heroism looks like. They were in the air before the announcement finished, Homelander streaking toward Times Square, with Goku following close behind. And as they flew, Goku couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong with this world's version of heroism. Behind them, in Vought Tower, Madeline Stillwell watched the situation unfold on monitors, a predatory smile playing at her lips. Did you stage this? Ashley whispered. I simply accelerated the timeline. Madeline's smile widened. Let's see what our alien friend does when the cameras are watching. Times Square was chaos. The villain, if you could call him that, was a metahuman named Shockwave. C-list at best. His power let him generate concussive blasts from his hands, enough to shatter windows and flip cars, but nothing world-ending. On any normal day, A-Train could have handled him in under a minute. But today wasn't about stopping Shockwave efficiently. Today was about the show. Goku arrived first, his speed effortlessly outpacing Homelander. He descended into the square and immediately understood why the alarms had sounded. Hundreds of civilians scattered in panic. Overturned vehicles burned. A tourist bus lay on its side, passengers trapped inside screaming. Shockwave stood in the center of it all, hands crackling with energy, his cheap costume already torn and bloody. Please. Shockwave shouted, and Goku noticed the desperation in his voice. I just want my daughter back. Vought took her. They took her for their trials, and now they won't tell me if she's even alive. Goku's instincts kicked in immediately. He moved toward the overturned bus, reaching for the metal frame to lift it. Stop. Homelander's hand clamped on his shoulder. Not hard enough to hurt, but firm. A warning. What are you doing? Goku asked, confused. People are trapped. I know. Homelander's smile never wavered as he positioned himself perfectly for the news helicopters overhead. But we handle this the right way. The cameras need to see the threat first. Then the save. Then the hero. It's called narrative. But people could die while we're... A few casualties make better television. Homelander released his shoulder and floated forward, addressing Shockwave with his camera-ready voice. Shockwave. Surrender now, and we can talk about your daughter. Continue this rampage, and... Shockwave fired a blast directly at a family huddled behind an overturned taxi. Goku moved. Not flew. Moved. One instant he was next to Homelander. The next he was in front of the family, hand extended. The concussive blast hit his palm and simply stopped. Dispersed. Like throwing a rock at a mountain. Hey, Goku called to Shockwave, his voice carrying over the chaos. I don't know what's going on with your daughter, but hurting innocent people isn't gonna help her. Why don't we just talk about? Another blast. This one aimed at Goku's face. It connected with a sound like thunder. Goku didn't even blink. Okay, he said patiently. I get that you're upset. But seriously, these attacks aren't doing anything to me. And you're scaring people. Just calm down and... My daughter. Shockwave's voice cracked. They injected her with Compound V, without my consent. She was only 6 years old, and they said she could be a hero. And now she's in some facility, and they won't let me see her, and... He fired again. And again. Desperation fueling each blast. Goku caught them all, absorbing the impacts without effort. Around him, civilians stared in shock. This wasn't how superhero fights went. There was no dramatic back and forth, no struggle, no tension. Just a man in an orange GI standing still while an increasingly panicked villain emptied his power reserves to no effect. Listen, Goku stepped forward slowly, hands raised non-threateningly. I just got to this world today, so I don't know what's normal here. But where I come from, we don't hurt innocent people, no matter how angry we are. Your daughter needs you, right? You can't help her if you're dead or in jail. So why don't you? He's going for the hostages. Homelander's voice boomed across the square, pitched perfectly for the cameras. Goku, move. Goku glanced back, confused. What? He hasn't gone anywhere near. The laser vision came without warning. Red-hot beams of concentrated energy lanced across Times Square, aimed not at Shockwave, but at the support column of the electronic billboard above him. 3 tons of metal and circuitry groaned, twisted, and began to fall, directly toward a crowd of trapped civilians. No. Shockwave's head snapped up in horror, his attack forgotten. Goku disappeared. He caught the falling billboard one-handed, 5 feet above the screaming crowd. For a moment, everyone froze. Shockwave, the civilians, even Homelander. Because Goku held 3 tons of metal and electronics, as easily as someone might hold a paperback book, his expression one of mild annoyance. What the hell? Goku looked at Homelander, genuine confusion on his face. You almost killed those people. Collateral damage happens in hero work. Homelander shrugged, floating down with theatrical grace. Sometimes you have to make hard choices, too. That wasn't collateral damage. Goku set the billboard down carefully, away from any civilians. You aimed at that sign on purpose. You were trying to create a disaster so you could save people from it. The silence that followed was absolute. Every camera captured it. Every live stream recorded it. Millions watching around the world heard this stranger, this alien who'd appeared from nowhere, accuse Homelander of manufacturing a crisis. That's a very serious accusation, Homelander said quietly, smile frozen in place. Are you calling me a liar? I'm calling you careless. Goku turned back to Shockwave, who stood frozen in shock. Look, I don't understand your world's politics or whatever, but I know fighting when I see it, and I know showmanship. That, he gestured at Homelander, was showmanship, not heroism. You sanctimonious, Homelander caught himself, aware of every camera, every microphone. His smile widened, but his eyes promised murder. Goku, maybe you should leave the hero work to actual heroes. You're new here. You don't understand how things work. Maybe I don't want to understand, if that's how things work. The crowd murmured. Phones captured everything. On 1,000 screens across the city, people watched this confrontation with held breath. Goku approached Shockwave slowly, hands still raised. Hey, I'm sorry about your daughter. I don't know this bot company very well, but if they took your kid without permission, that's not okay. How about this? You surrender peacefully, and I promise I'll look into it. I'll find out what happened to her. You promise? Shockwave's voice was broken, desperate. His hands trembled, energy flickering out. You'll actually help? I promise. He's lying to you. Homelander called out, voice still pitched for the cameras. Making promises he can't keep. We have laws, procedures. I don't care about procedures. Goku looked back at Homelander with something approaching anger. A kid got hurt. A dad's trying to save her. That's all that matters. Shockwave collapsed to his knees, sobbing. His powers dissipated. Goku walked over and placed a hand on his shoulder, not restraining, but comforting. What's your daughter's name? Emma. The word came out choked. Emma Corsetti. She's 8 now. I haven't seen her in 2 years. They won't tell me where she is. Won't tell me if the V worked or if he couldn't finish. I'll find her. Goku's voice was simple, certain. I promise. Police swarmed in, securing Shockwave with power-dampening restraints. Paramedics rushed to help trap civilians. News crews jockeyed for position, trying to get close to either Homelander or this mysterious newcomer who just upstaged America's greatest hero on live television. Homelander floated down, smile still fixed, voice pitched low enough that only Goku could hear. Do you have any idea what you just did? You undermined me. On camera. In front of millions. You made me look like someone who cares more about cameras than people? Goku met his eyes. Yeah, I did. Because that's what I saw. You're going to regret this. Probably. Goku shrugged. I regret a lot of things. But at least I'll sleep okay tonight. He lifted off, ascending into the sky, without showmanship or theatrics. Just a man flying away, because he was done with the conversation. Below, Times Square erupted in chaos. News anchors scrambled for narrative. Social media exploded. And in Vought Tower, Madeline Stillwell stared at the screens with an expression somewhere between fury and fascination. Well, she said quietly, that's complicated. What do we do? Ashley's voice bordered on panic. He completely went off script. He accused Homelander of, I know what he did. Madeline's mind was already racing through scenarios, calculating responses. Get me the PR team. Get me legal. And get me everything we have on an Emma Corsetti. Why? Because Goku just made a promise on live television. Madeline's smile was cold. And we're going to make sure he can't keep it. The video went viral in 17 minutes. Not the sanitized, VOD-approved footage. The raw cell phone videos from a dozen angles, showing Goku catching Homelander's accidental laser vision. The close-ups of his face when he called it showmanship. The moment he promised a desperate father he'd find his missing daughter. By the time Goku landed on a random rooftop in Brooklyn to think, #WhoIsGoku had 40 million tweets. Half the internet was calling him a hero. The other half was calling him a threat. Vought's PR machine worked overtime trying to spin the narrative. But for once, they were behind the curve. Goku sat cross-legged on the roof's edge, staring at the unfamiliar skyline. Everything here felt wrong. The energy, the people, the way heroes operated. Back home, heroism was simple. Bad guy threatens Earth, you stop bad guy. Sometimes you died, but you got better. Someone always had Dragon Balls. Here, everything was complicated. Manufactured. That Homelander guy wasn't evil. Goku had fought enough evil to recognize it. But he was broken. Empty. Playing a role for invisible audiences Goku didn't understand. Oi, mate. Goku turned. A man stood on the rooftop behind him, middle-aged, dark coat, face like weathered leather with eyes that had seen too much. He held a crowbar casually, like it was an extension of his arm. Behind him, 4 others emerged from a roof access. A skinny, nervous-looking guy, a woman with a gun, a quiet, muscular man, and someone in a hoodie who hung back in shadow. You're that bloke from Times Square, the man with the crowbar said. British accent. Dangerous smile. The one who made Homelander look like a right cunt on live telly. Goku stood, dropping into a loose, ready stance. Are you guys here to fight? Because I'm really not in the mood right now. Fight? Nah. The man laughed, harsh and genuine. I'm here to buy you a pint and tell you you're my new favorite person. Name's Billy Butcher. He gestured to the others. That's Huey, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and the lass in back is Kimiko. Goku. He relaxed slightly. These people didn't feel threatening. Well, except the woman in the hoodie, Kimiko, who radiated violence in a way that reminded him of a fighter. How did you find me? We've been tracking you since you fell out of the sky. The nervous one, Huey, stepped forward. We're kind of we watch soups. The dangerous ones. Soups. Superheroes. Mother's Milk's voice was deep, controlled. People with powers. Like Homelander. Like you, apparently. I'm not a superhero, Goku said. I'm just a guy who fights to protect people. And get stronger. Mostly get stronger if I'm honest. You're better than a superhero. Butcher's smile widened. You're a soup who don't buy Vought's bullshit. That makes you either very smart or very dead. Probably both. Goku tilted his head. I don't understand. Vought is the company that makes heroes, right? Why would they want me dead? Because you threatened their product. Mother's Milk crosses arms. Homelander is their flagship. Their golden boy. He brings in billions in merchandise, movie deals, military contracts. You made him look weak in front of the world. That's bad for business. I didn't try to make him look weak. He was more worried about cameras than helping people. That's not what heroes do. In this world it is, Huey said quietly. Heroes aren't heroes here. They're celebrities. Products. Homelander doesn't save people because it's right. He does it because it sells action figures. Goku processed this slowly. That's really messed up. Finally, someone gets it. Butcher clapped him on the shoulder. Look, Goku, can I call you Goku? Course I can. Here's the situation. You just declared war on the most powerful company in the world by making their top asset look like a twat. They're gonna come for you. PR campaign first, probably paint you as a terrorist or unregistered soup or symbolics. Then, if that don't work, he drew a finger across his throat. They'd kill me for that. They'd kill you for less, Mother's Milk said. We've seen it. Anyone who threatens Vought's bottom line tends to disappear. Accidental deaths. Suicides. Unfortunate incidents. But I just wanted to help that guy find his daughter. Yeah, and that's the problem. Butcher leaned against the roof access. See, Emma Corsetti? The kid you promised to find? She's one of Vought's dirty secrets. They've been testing Compound V on children for years, trying to create a new generation of controllable soups. Most of the kids survive. Some get powers. Some get nothing. And some... He trailed off meaningfully. Goku's expression darkened. Some die. Bingo. And they took her without her father's permission? They do it all the time, Huey said. Target vulnerable families. Promise them their kids will be special. Then they sign away parental rights in the fine print. By the time the parents realize what happened, their children are property of Vought International. Silence fell across the rooftop. Goku's fists clenched slowly. Where is she? That's the billion-dollar question, innit? Butcher spread his hands. Vought's got facilities all over the country. Black sites. Research centers. Places that officially don't exist. We've been trying to track them for years, but their security is... I can sense energy. Goku closed his eyes, reaching out with his key sense. It was harder here than back home. The energy felt different, muted, but he could still feel the signatures of millions of people across the city. Except... Wait. Why are there empty spaces? Empty spaces? Places where there should be people, but I can't sense anything. Goku pointed northeast. There. Big building, lots of technology, but it's like there's a wall blocking my senses. And there, he pointed west, same thing. What is that? The boys exchanged glances. Lead line facilities, Mother's Milk said quietly. Vought builds them to contain soups. Heavy radiation shielding, reinforced walls, electromagnetic dampeners. If you're sensing blanks in the city, those are probably their prisons. Goku's eyes opened hard. Or their labs. Could be either, Butcher said. Could be both. But if you're thinking of just flying in there, and... That's exactly what I'm thinking. Mate, listen. Butcher stepped forward, his tone shifting to something almost genuine. I love the enthusiasm, truly. But Vought don't play fair. They've got lawyers, politicians, media. Even if you find the kid, even if you break her out, they'll spin it as kidnapping. They'll make you the villain. And then they'll send everything they got, Homelander, the Seven, the bloody military if they have to put you down. Let them try. Goku's voice was calm. Simple certainty. I made a promise. I'm keeping it. You're either the bravest bloke I've ever met or the stupidest, Butcher said. Possibly both. Definitely both, Mother's Milk muttered. But Butcher's smile returned. That's why I like you. Tell you what, you help us, we help you. We've been working on taking down Vought for years. Getting evidence. Building cases. You got power. We got intel. Together, maybe we actually hurt these bastards. Goku considered this. Back home, he usually worked alone or with the Z-Fighters. But these people, they reminded him of the early days with Bulma and the others. Not powerful, but determined. Fighting because someone had to. Okay, he said. But I'm finding that kid first. Tonight. Tonight. Huey's voice cracked. We don't even know which facility. Then I'll check them all. Goku stretched, joints popping. How many of these lead-line buildings are there in the city? 7 confirmed, Mother's Milk said. Maybe more we don't know about. 7's not bad. I can check them all in an hour if I move fast. And when Vought notices you breaking into their facilities? Butcher asked. Then I guess I'll have to be faster than their response time. Goku grinned suddenly. That battle-hungry expression that had made gods nervous. Besides, if Homelander shows up, maybe we can have that real fight he's been avoiding. Kimiko stepped forward and signed something rapid. Frenchie translated. She says you are either Trace Courageux or Trace Foe. Very brave or very crazy. Why not both? Goku's grin widened. Despite everything, Butcher laughed. All right, you magnificent bastard. You want to kick Vought's hornet nest? We'll help. But we do this smart. Mother's Milk, get him the facility locations. Frenchie, prep the van in case we need extraction. Huey, monitor police bands and Vought communications. Kimiko, he glanced at her, you're with me. We're gonna make sure our new friend here don't get blindsided. You do that? Goku asked. You just met me. Mate, you did in 5 minutes what we've been trying to do for 5 years. Butcher's expression was fierce. You made Homelander look weak. You challenged Vought publicly. You gave millions of people watching hope that maybe, just maybe, these corporate superheroes aren't untouchable. He extended his hand. Enemy of my enemy, and all that. Goku shook it, surprised by the man's calloused grip. Thanks. I'm not great with plans and stuff, but I'm really good at fighting and not giving up. Good. Butcher's smile turned predatory. Because before this night's over, you're gonna need both. The first facility was on the Upper East Side, disguised as a pharmaceutical research center. Goku floated outside the 15th floor, peering through reinforced windows at rows of medical equipment and people in hazmat suits. His key sense told him everything he needed to know. 37 people inside, all adults, none with the distinctive artificial energy signature he'd learned to associate with Compound V recipients. No children. He moved on. The second facility was in Queens, buried beneath what appeared to be a Whataburger franchise. More sophisticated. Lead-lined rooms 3 stories underground created those blank spaces in his senses. But when he phased through the building, moving so fast the security cameras only caught a blur, he found storage. Weapons. Files. But no people. Strike 2. Anything. Butcher's voice crackled in the earpiece Frenchie had given him. The technology was primitive compared to Capsule Corp stuff, but it worked. Not yet, Goku whispered, already ascending. What's the next one? Brooklyn. Old Vought Tower. The one they abandoned in '09. Officially decommissioned. But we've picked up power signatures that don't match an empty building. On it. Goku streaked across the night sky, a comet visible only to those who knew to look up. Below, the city sprawled in every direction. Millions of lights, millions of lives, all blissfully unaware that something impossible was hunting through their world for a stolen child. The abandoned Vought Tower loomed against the skyline, dark except for emergency lighting. But Goku's senses told a different story. Power flowing through cables. Ventilation systems active. And deep in the sub-basement levels, those blank spaces again. He descended slowly this time, cautious. The building's exterior was crumbling, windows broken, but the roof access looked recently used. Fresh footprints in the dust. Security camera, deactivated but present. Too obvious. This was either a trap or something they wanted found. Goku dropped through a broken skylight, floating down through abandoned floors. Executive offices stripped bare. Conference rooms filled with debris. Everything pointed to a building forgotten by time. Until he reached the 10th floor. The elevator shaft had been retrofitted. New cables. Modern technology hidden behind the decay. And when Goku pried open the doors to the sub-basement levels, he found what he was looking for. A laboratory. Active. Sterile white walls humming with power. And, in sealed chambers, children. Goku's blood ran cold. There were 12 of them, ranging from maybe 5 to 12 years old. Each in their own containment cell, monitored by medical equipment. Some slept fitfully. Others stared at nothing with hollow eyes. One, a little girl with dark hair, was strapped to a medical bed while automated syringes prepared another injection. Found them, Goku said quietly into the earpiece. Butcher, I found the kids. You sure? I'm sure. His voice hardened. And I'm getting them out. Now, wait for backup. We don't know what security. Goku crushed the earpiece in his fist. No more waiting. No more planning. He moved. The first containment cell door was reinforced steel with electromagnetic locks. Goku gripped the frame and pulled. Metal screamed in protest, then tore like paper. Alarms shrieked instantly, klaxons echoing through the facility. The child inside, a boy, maybe 7, jerked awake in terror. It's okay, Goku said softly, kneeling to his eye level. I'm here to help. What's your name? M. Marcus. The boy's eyes were too old for his face. Are you one of the heroes? I'm just someone who keeps promises. Goku offered his hand. Can you walk? Marcus nodded shakily. Goku helped him up, then moved to the next cell. Then the next. Each door torn open like they were made of cardboard. Each child carefully extracted. Checked for injuries, reassured. The little girl on the medical bed, Emma Corsetti, the picture from Butcher's files confirmed it, was unconscious. Goku gently removed the restraints and the 4 lines, cradling her carefully. She was so small, too small to have been through whatever hell this place represented. Everyone stay close, he told the children, 11 conscious faces looking at him, with varying degrees of hope and fear. We're leaving. That's when the doors burst open and Vaught's security team flooded in. 20 men, full tactical gear, automatic weapons. They moved with military precision, surrounding Goku and the children in a semicircle. Red laser sights painted his chest. Stand down. The team leader's voice was amplified through his helmet. You are in violation of multiple federal laws. Release the test subjects and surrender immediately. Test subjects. Goku's voice was dangerously quiet. These are children. They are property of Vought International under contract with. They are children. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. The security team shifted nervously. Something in Goku's tone, something primal and ancient, triggered every survival instinct they had. Last warning, the team leader tried. We are authorized to use lethal. Goku moved. He didn't hurt them. That was important. Later, when they tried to piece together what happened, that would be the detail that haunted them. He could have killed them all in a heartbeat. Instead, he simply removed them from the equation. 20 trained soldiers. Weapons clattered to the floor, useless. Bodies slammed into walls with precisely calibrated force, enough to stun, not to kill. In 3 seconds, the security team was neutralized. Goku turned back to the children, who stared with wide eyes. It's okay, he said again. Nobody's going to hurt you anymore. I promise. More alarms. Heavy footsteps echoing through corridors above. Reinforcements coming. Hold on tight, Goku told the children. This might feel weird. He gathered them close, Emma unconscious in one arm, the others clinging to him like a strange human cargo net. Then he simply phased upward, passing through concrete and steel as easily as air, carrying them through the building toward open sky. They burst out through the roof just as Vaught's aerial response arrived. Not Homelander. Something worse. Black Noir. The silent assassin hovered in the night sky, cape billowing. every inch of him radiating lethal intent. Behind him, 3 other supes Goku didn't recognize, mercenaries by the look of them. Hired muscle with powers that glowed in Goku's senses like cheap neon. Put down the assets. A woman with electricity crackling around her hand spoke. Last chance before we put you down. Goku looked at the children clinging to him, then at the supes blocking his path. He sighed. I really didn't want to fight today, he said. But okay, let's make this quick. He ascended straight up, not fast enough to hurt the kids, but fast enough that the pursuing supes had to scramble to follow. At 500 feet, he stopped, floating in the cold night air. You kids ever flown before? He asked. Nervous head shakes. A few whimpers. Cool. It's really fun once you get used to it. Just close your eyes if you feel sick. Black Noir struck first, silent and precise. Twin blades drawn to slash at Goku's exposed back. Goku caught both blades one-handed without looking, still cradling the children with his other arm. Sorry, he said to Black Noir, but I'm holding kids right now. Can we reschedule? He flicked his wrist. Black Noir went spinning away, tumbling through the air for 100 yards before catching himself. The electric woman fired next, lightning arcing across the sky. Goku simply tanked it, the electricity crackling harmlessly around his ki, aura. The children gasped but remained unharmed, protected by his energy. That tickled a little, Goku said mildly. The third supe, some kind of telekinetic, tried to rip the children from his grasp with invisible force. Goku's grip didn't budge. He was holding planets' worth of gravitational force in training. One telekinetic wasn't even a challenge. Okay, you guys aren't getting it. Goku's eyes hardened. I'm not letting these kids go. I'm taking them somewhere safe. You can either let me pass, or... A red-hot laser blast sliced through the air, aimed directly at Emma in his arms. Goku's free hand snapped up, catching the heat vision in his palm, absorbing it completely. His head turned slowly. Homelander floated 100 yards away, eyes still glowing crimson, that manufactured smile completely gone. In its place was something raw, desperate, dangerous. You just tried to kill a child, Goku said quietly. She's not a child. Homelander's voice was cold. She's an asset. A test subject. Vought property. No. Goku's aura flared suddenly, not ki, but pure fighting intent. The air shimmered with pressure. Windows in buildings below cracked from the sheer force of his presence. She's a kid whose father misses her. And you just tried to laser her. I was aiming for you. You were aiming for her. Goku's voice dropped even lower. I can tell the difference. For the first time since arriving in this world, Goku felt genuinely angry. Not battle-hungry. Not excited. Angry. Kids, he said softly to the children clinging to him. I need you to do something for me. See that rooftop down there? The one with the people waving. On a roof 2 blocks away, Butcher and the boys had arrived, having tracked Goku's chaos through the city. I'm going to put you down there very carefully. They're going to keep you safe while I handle this. Okay, are you going to come back? Marcus's small voice asked. I promise. Goku descended rapidly but smoothly, depositing the children on the rooftop with Butcher's crew. Mother's Milk immediately began checking them for injuries. Frenchie wrapped them in emergency blankets. Huey stammered something reassuring. Get them somewhere safe, Goku told Butcher. Especially Emma. Her father's waiting. What about you? Goku looked up at the 4 supes hovering in the sky, waiting. At Homelander, whose eyes blazed with barely contained fury. I'm going to teach these heroes what real fighting looks like. He launched skyward like a rocket, and the night erupted in violence. The first rule of fighting, Master Roshi had taught Goku decades ago, was to understand your opponent's limits. The second rule was to never underestimate desperation. Goku understood both as Homelander's fist connected with his jaw, a haymaker thrown with every ounce of compound V-enhanced strength. The impact echoed across the city like a thunderclap. Windows shattered 3 blocks away. Car alarms screamed in unison. Goku's head moved maybe an inch. Okay, he said, rotating his jaw experimentally. That one actually had some weight behind it. Good. Homelander's eyes widened, just a fraction. just enough to reveal the crack in his perfect facade. He'd hit with enough force to crater concrete, to pulverize bone, and this stranger was complimenting his technique. Black Noir attacked from behind, blades seeking the gaps between ribs. Goku caught him by the wrist without looking, swung him around, and sent him crashing into the electric woman who'd been charging another attack. They tumbled through the air in a tangle of limbs and sparks. The telekinetic tried again, this time attempting to crush Goku's internal organs with focused pressure. Goku felt the attempt like a gentle squeeze. "That's creative," he said, "but it won't work. I've trained in 400 times Earth's gravity. Your mind tricks feel like a light massage." He appeared in front of the telekinetic, instant movement that defied physics, and flicked him on the forehead. The man went spinning away unconscious, drifting toward the ground where Butcher's crew could retrieve him. "You're going to pay for this." Homelander's voice was raw now, stripped of all pretense. "Do you have any idea what you've done? Those children represent millions in research. Years of development. You just stole." "I didn't steal anything." Goku's voice cut through the night. "I rescued kidnapped kids from a corporation that treats them like lab rats. Where I come from, we call that being a hero. I'm the hero." The words exploded out of Homelander, raw and desperate. His heat vision lanced out again, wild, uncontrolled. Not aimed at Goku this time, but at everything, buildings, vehicles, anything to hurt, to destroy, to reassert dominance. Goku moved through the beams like they were standing still, appearing in front of each potential victim before the heat could connect. A businessman working late. A homeless man sleeping in an alley. A taxi driver taking a shortcut. Each one saved by impossible speed, relocated to safety before they even registered the danger. "Stop protecting them." Homelander screamed. "Stop making me look." He couldn't finish. Couldn't say the word that haunted every moment of his manufactured existence. Weak. Black Noir recovered, charging back into the fight with professional determination. The electric woman joined him, lightning crackling between her fingers. They attacked in coordinated strikes, the kind of teamwork that came from actual training. Goku dodged more than blocked, weaving between attacks with casual grace. This wasn't a real fight. This was barely a warm-up. Back home, Vegeta could push him harder during breakfast. But these people didn't know that. To them, this was full power. This was everything they had. And it wasn't enough. "You don't have to do this," Goku said, catching Black Noir's blade between two fingers. "Just let me take the kids somewhere safe. You can tell Vought you tried your best. Nobody else has to get hurt." Black Noir responded by drawing a second blade with his free hand, stabbing toward Goku's eye. "Okay, I tried." Goku sighed. He released the first blade and tapped Black Noir's chest, gently, by his standards. The impact sent the assassin hurtling backward through the night sky, conscious but neutralized, tumbling toward the Hudson River. The electric woman unleashed everything she had, a sustained blast of lightning that could power a city block. It washed over Goku harmlessly, crackling around his aura like static discharge. "I've been hit by gods," Goku said quietly. "Your electricity is just energy, and I eat energy for breakfast." He appeared behind her and chopped the back of her neck, precisely calibrated pressure point strike. She dropped instantly, unconscious. Goku caught her gently, lowering her to a nearby rooftop where she wouldn't be hurt. That left Homelander, America's greatest hero, floated alone in the sky, chest heaving, eyes wild. Every camera crew in Manhattan had their lenses trained on this moment. Every screen in the city showed the same image. Homelander isolated, while this stranger in the orange GI looked barely winded. "You're holding back." Homelander's voice was barely above a whisper. "I can tell. You're not even trying." "I don't want to hurt you," Goku said honestly. "I just want to help those kids." "Liar." Homelander's composure shattered completely. "You're trying to humiliate me, to take my place. You think you can just show up in my world, my city, and... It's not about you." Goku's voice was gentle but firm. "It was never about you. This is about children who needed help. That's all. Everything is about me." Homelander dove forward, fists flying in a flurry of desperate strikes. Technique abandoned. Training forgotten. Just raw power and wounded pride translated into violence. Goku blocked each punch with minimal movement, his expression sad. He'd seen this before, warriors so focused on being strong that they forgot why strength mattered. Vegeta had been like this once, before he learned. But Vegeta had been willing to change. Homelander, Goku realized, might not have that capacity. I'm the strongest. Homelander's voice cracked between punches. I'm perfect. I'm everything Vought created me to be. You can't, I won't let you. You're not perfect, Goku said quietly, catching both of Homelander's fists mid-strike. But that's okay. Nobody is. That's the whole point. He held Homelander there, suspended in the night sky, their faces inches apart. Below, millions watched. Above, stars wheeled in patterns Goku didn't recognize. Between them, something fundamental broke. Let me go. Homelander's voice was small now. Childlike. Please. Goku released him immediately. I'm not your enemy. I don't want to be your enemy. Then what do you want? The question came out broken. I want to go home. Goku floated backward, giving space. I want to find a way back to my Earth, to my family. But while I'm here, I'm not going to ignore kids being hurt. I can't. That's not who I am. And if Vought comes after you, after those children, then I'll stop them. Simple fact. No bravado. Not because I want to fight. Not because I hate your company. But because it's the right thing to do. Homelander stared at him for a long moment. Then, without another word, he turned and flew away. Not toward Vought Tower. Just away. Into the darkness. Leaving behind the city he'd sworn to protect. The image he'd spent years cultivating. The perfect hero facade that this stranger had shattered in a single night. Goku watched him go, feeling something like pity. That was unexpected. Butcher's voice crackled through a new earpiece Frenchie must have prepared. Thought you'd have to properly knock him out. He's not evil, Goku said, descending toward the rooftop where the boys waited. Just lost. Someone broke him a long time ago. Yeah, well, broken or not, he's still Vaught's attack dog. Butcher gestured to the children, now wrapped in blankets and drinking hot chocolate from somewhere. What's the play now? We got 12 freed kids, Vaught's entire security apparatus hunting us, and you just embarrassed their golden boy on every screen in America. Now, Goku landed softly, Emma still unconscious in his arms. Now we reunite a father with his daughter. And then, Goku looked up at the unfamiliar stars, thinking of Chi-Chi and Goten and Gohan, thinking of his Earth, his home, his training with Whis that had been interrupted by whatever dimensional accident brought him here. Then I figure out how to get home, he said quietly, and maybe help fix what's broken in this world before I leave. Fix the world. Mother's Milk's laugh was bitter. Brother, Vaught's got their fingers in everything. Government, military, media. You just declared war on an empire. I've fought empires before. Goku smiled slightly. Usually works out okay. Huey approached nervously, phone in hand. Guys? You should see this. He turned the screen to show social media exploding. But it wasn't condemnation. It wasn't fear. It was something else entirely. Hope. Hashtag Goku the hero. Hashtag real heroes do exist. Hashtag Vought lies. Millions of posts. People sharing the footage, dissecting every frame, celebrating someone who'd stood up to Homelander without fear. Someone who'd saved children without asking for payment or publicity. Someone who'd done what heroes were supposed to do. Well, Butcher said quietly, there's your answer. You can't go home yet, mate. Not until we finish this. Finish what? Butcher's smile was sharp, dangerous. Taking down Vought. Exposing every dirty secret. Freeing every kid they've stolen. You wanted to do the right thing. He gestured at the children, at the city, at the cameras, still recording everything. Congratulations. You just became the face of a revolution. Goku looked at Emma's sleeping face, at the other children finding comfort in hot chocolate and blankets, at this strange world that treated heroism as commodity rather than calling. Okay, he said simply. Let's do it. The safe house was a warehouse in Red Hook that shouldn't exist on any city record. Butcher's connections, old CIA favors, mercenary contacts, people who owed him blood debts, had created a space outside Vought's surveillance network. Barely. Goku sat cross-legged on the concrete floor, surrounded by 12 children in various states of exhausted sleep. Emma Corsetti had woken an hour ago, confused and terrified, until Goku explained he'd promised her father he'd find her. She'd cried then, deep, racking sobs that seemed too large for her small body. Now she slept again, curled against his side, like he was the only solid thing in a universe gone mad. You're good with them. Mother's milk appeared with coffee Goku didn't want, but accepted anyway. Earth customs. Got kids of your own? 2 sons. Goku smiled thinking of them. Gohan's grown now. Married, has a daughter. Goten's still training with me. He's stronger than I was at his age. Must be hard being away from them. Yeah. The single word carried oceans of longing. But I'll find a way back. I always do. Across the warehouse, Huey worked 3 laptops simultaneously, fingers flying across keyboards. Frenchie examined the medical data they'd recovered from the facility. Kimiko stood guard at the entrance, her enhanced senses alert for any approach. And Butcher talked on an encrypted phone, his voice low and intense. Don't care what Mallory says. We got 12 kids who need. Yes, I understand the political ramifications. He paused, listened, then barked a harsh laugh. Oh, she's threatening legal action? Tell Miss Stillwell she can shove her legal action up her. He caught Goku watching and softened his tone marginally. Look, just get the documentation moving. We need foster placement, medical clearances, the works. And we need it yesterday. He hung up, scrubbing his face with both hands. Problem? Goku asked. Problem is we just became kidnappers in the eyes of the law. Butcher collapsed onto a crate. Vought's filing emergency injunctions, claiming the children are material witnesses in an ongoing investigation, that we're holding them against their will, that you, he pointed at Goku, are an unregistered supercombatant who represents a clear and present danger. I am unregistered, Goku admitted, though I don't know what I'm supposed to register for. Superhuman Registration Act. Federal law. Any person with abilities beyond normal human capacity gotta register with the government. Which means Vought, since they got their claws in every oversight committee. That seems like a bad system. It's a fucking terrible system. But it's the law. Butcher leaned forward. Here's the real problem, mate. We can fight the legal battle. I got lawyers who owe me favors. But while we're tied up in court, those kids go back to Vought custody. And once they're back inside those walls. He didn't finish. Didn't need to. Then we don't let them go back, Goku said simply. And how exactly do we accomplish that miracle? We expose Vought. Huey looked up from his laptops, face illuminated by screen glow. Everything. Every illegal test. Every stolen child. Every covered-up death. We dump it all at once. Media, government, international press. Make it impossible to ignore. We've been trying that for years, Mother's Milk said. Vought buries evidence faster than we can compile it. Because you didn't have leverage. Goku stood carefully, not disturbing Emma. But now you have me. You. Butcher's eyebrow raised. I'm proof, right? That powers don't have to come from Compound V. That Vought doesn't control everything. If I go public, really public, and tell everyone what I saw in that facility, what happens? They discredit you, Mother's Milk said. Call you a liar, a terrorist, a foreign agent. Vought's PR machine will destroy your reputation in 24 hours. Let them try. Goku's smile was sharp. I don't have a reputation here. I'm nobody. Just a guy who crashed through a building and found kidnapped kids. The more they attack me, the more people wonder why they're working so hard to shut me up. Silence fell over the warehouse as the implications settled in. You want to be the distraction, Butcher said slowly. Draw all of Vought's fire while we move the evidence. I want to give you time, Goku corrected. However much you need. They'll be too busy dealing with me to stop whatever you're planning. They'll send Homelander, Huey warned. And next time, he won't be alone. He'll bring the 7. Maybe more. Good. Goku's expression shifted. That battle-hungry grin that had unnerved gods and monsters. I've been holding back this whole time because I didn't want to hurt anyone. But if they come at me with everything they've got, maybe I can finally cut loose a little. You're insane, Mother's Milk said, but there was respect in his voice. I've been called worse. Goku stretched, joints popping. So what's the plan? Butcher stood, pacing. Huey's been compiling evidence for years. Documents, testimony, financial records showing Vought's illegal operations. But it's all circumstantial. Nothing that would stick in court against their lawyers. We need something undeniable. Like what? Like Compound V itself. Frenchie looked up from his medical data. The original formula. Vought claims Compound V is safe, tested, approved. But the real formula, the one they use on children without consent, it's different. More volatile. More dangerous. If we can prove they're giving children an experimental drug that violates every FDA regulation. Where is it? Goku asked. Vought Tower. Main research facility. Top 5 floors. Butcher's smile was predatory. Most secure location in the entire company. Guarded by the 7. Accessible only through biometric systems, key to senior executives. Impossible to infiltrate. Or, Goku said, I could just fly up there and take it. Just fly up. Mother's Milk started laughing. Couldn't help himself. You're talking about breaking into Vought Tower. Past their security. Past their soups. Into the most protected facility on the eastern seaboard. Yeah. Goku tilted his head. Is that hard? The laughter died as everyone realized he was serious. You'd be facing the 7, Huey said. All of them. Homelander, Queen Maeve, A-Train. The deep black noir, Starlight Translucent. Translucent's dead, Butcher interjected. We killed him. You what? Goku blinked. Long story. Point is, you'd still be facing 6 superhuman combatants in an environment designed to contain and control supers. It's suicide. Or it's perfect. Butcher's eyes gleamed. Think about it. Goku assaults Vought Tower directly. Every camera, every news crew, every eye in the city watches. While Vought's scrambling to deal with him, we extract the real evidence. The test subjects, they're still holding. The financial records. Everything we need to bury them. You're using him as bait, Mother's Milk said flatly. I'm using him as a weapon. Butcher looked at Goku. You up for it? Goku considered. Back home, this would be simple. Break in, grab what's needed, get out. But this world had complications, laws, public perception, innocent people who might get hurt if he wasn't careful. I'll do it, he said finally. But on one condition. What? No one dies. Not Homelander. Not the 7. Not even Vought's security. I'll knock them out, disable them, but I'm not killing anyone. Even if they're trying to kill you? Especially then. Goku's voice was firm. Where I come from, we only kill when there's no other choice. When the threat is so big that mercy means everyone dies. These people, they're not evil. They're just working for an evil company. That's different. These people will throw you in a cell or dissect you for science, Butcher argued. Then I'll break out. Goku shrugged. But I'm not compromising on this. Help people, stop the bad guys, but don't kill unless there's absolutely no alternative. That's my rule. Butcher stared at him for a long moment, then barked another harsh laugh. You really are a proper superhero, aren't you? The genuine article. Not like those Vought-branded cunts. I'm just me. Goku's smile returned. So when do we do this? Tomorrow morning. Butcher pulled out his phone, already texting. Rush hour. Maximum visibility. You hit Vought Tower at 9 a.m. sharp when the whole world's watching the morning news. Make it spectacular. Make it impossible to ignore. And the kids? Safe house 2 out of state. Mother's Milk was already making calls. We got contacts in Boston. They'll be protected. Emma stirred against Goku's side, mumbling something in her sleep. He carefully adjusted his position so she'd be more comfortable. Her father, Goku said quietly. Someone needs to tell him she's okay. Already done. Huey looked up from his laptop. Anonymous message to his burner phone. He knows she's safe. We'll arrange a reunion once the heat dies down. Good. Goku stood slowly, letting Emma continue sleeping against a pile of blankets Mother's milk arranged. Then I guess I should rest up. Big day tomorrow. You need rest. Frenchie asked curiously. You do not seem tired. Not really. Goku admitted. But Master Roshi always said you should be well rested before a big fight. It's good discipline. He found a quiet corner of the warehouse and sat, closing his eyes. Not sleeping, meditating. Reaching out with his senses, feeling this strange world's energy. The artificial signatures of Compound V users scattered across the city. The normal human key of millions of people going about their lives. And somewhere out there, Homelander's distinctive energy, wounded, raging, circling the city like a predator that had lost its territory. Tomorrow would be interesting. Tomorrow, Goku would learn whether this world's heroes could actually fight. And Vought International would learn what happened when you threatened children in front of someone who'd spent his entire life protecting the innocent. 9 a.m. arrived with perfect Manhattan sunshine and 72 news crews positioned within visual range of Vought Tower. They'd been tipped off anonymously, a credible threat against America's premier superhero facility. Every major network had cameras ready. Social media buzzed with speculation. The city held its breath. And Goku descended from the sky like a meteor. He didn't crash this time. Didn't destroy property or cause collateral damage. He simply floated down to hover 50 feet in front of Vought Tower's main entrance, arms crossed, expression calm. Every camera in Manhattan focused on him. My name's Goku, he said, voice carrying across the plaza without shouting. No microphone needed. Yesterday, I rescued 12 children from an illegal research facility run by Vought International. Children who were kidnapped, experimented on without consent, treated like property instead of people. Inside Vought Tower, alarm screamed. Madeline Stillwell watched the monitors with cold fury, phone already pressed to her ear. Where is Homelander? Get me Homelander now. He's not responding, ma'am. None of the 7 are. Then find them. On the plaza, Goku continued. I'm here to get proof. Evidence that Vought is hurting kids. And I'm not leaving until I have it. The main doors burst open. Queen Maeve emerged first, followed by A-Train, the Deep, and Starlight. They formed a line between Goku and the entrance. 4 of the 7, camera ready and projecting confidence. But Goku could sense their fear, could read it in their elevated heart rates, their shallow breathing, the way Maeve's hand trembled slightly before she steadied it. Goku. Maeve's voice was strong, professional. Stand down. We don't want violence, but we will defend this facility. I don't want violence either, Goku replied. I just want the truth about what Vought does to children. You're misinformed. Starlight stepped forward, her voice carrying genuine conviction. Vought helps people. We save lives. Whatever you think you saw. I saw 12 kids in cages. Goku's voice hardened. I saw a little girl strapped to a medical bed getting injected with chemicals. I saw files documenting hundreds more. Don't tell me I'm misinformed when I carried those children to safety with my own hands. Starlight faltered. Something flickered across her face. Doubt, perhaps. Recognition. He's lying. A-Train vibrated with nervous energy. Vought doesn't. We would never. You don't know. Goku said it gently. They don't tell you everything. You're heroes, right? You want to save people. But the company you work for. He trailed off, letting the implication hang. Enough talk. The Deep stepped forward, trying to project menace. You're trespassing on private property. Leave now, or... Black Noir dropped from above, blades already drawn. Goku caught him by the wrist without looking, stopping the assassination attempt mid-strike. We did this already. Remember how it ended. He released Black Noir with a gentle push that sent the assassin sliding backward across the plaza. Last warning. Queen Maeve's fists clenched. Stand down. Can't do that. Goku dropped into a ready stance. But I promise I won't hurt any of you. Just knock you out long enough to get what I came for. A-Train moved first, a blur of super speed, circling Goku, looking for an opening. The deep charge from the front, superhuman strength behind his tackle. Starlight's hands blazed with light energy. Goku didn't move until they were committed. Then he simply wasn't there anymore. A-Train crashed into the deep. Both went tumbling across the plaza in a tangle of limbs. Starlight's blast hit empty air, the energy dissipating harmlessly. Too slow, Goku said from behind them. Queen Maeve spun, years of combat training guiding her movements. Her punch was technically perfect, weight transferred, hips rotating, full power behind it. Goku caught it one-handed. "You're strong," he said appreciatively. "Probably the strongest one here, besides Homelander. Have you ever trained in martial arts? Your form is good, but there's room for..." Maeve's other fist crashed into his face. Then her knee drove toward his stomach. Then an elbow aimed at his temple. A combination that should have devastated any opponent. Goku stood unmoved, tanking each hit. "Okay, that was better. You're adapting. But you're still relying on strength over technique. Let me show you." He tapped her shoulder. Maeve went flying backward, not hurt, but completely off balance, landing 30 feet away. A-Train attacked again, this time from multiple angles simultaneously, using his speed to strike from Goku's blind spots. Dozens of supersonic punches in the span of a heartbeat. Goku blocked every single one without apparent effort, his hands moving in precise patterns that seemed almost lazy. Then he grabbed A-Train mid-strike, holding the speedster in place despite his frantically churning legs. "Speed's great," Goku said conversationally. "But you're predictable. You always attack from the same angles. Gotta mix it up more." He set A-Train down and flicked his forehead. The speedster collapsed, unconscious, before he hit the ground. A-Train. Starlight's energy blazed brighter, powered by genuine anger now. "You said you wouldn't hurt us." "He's fine. Just sleeping." Goku turned to face her. "Look, I know you think you're defending something good. But Vought is lying to you. To all of you. Don't you want to know the truth?" "The truth." A new voice cut across the plaza, amplified and cold. "The truth is you're a terrorist." Homelander descended from the sky. But he wasn't alone this time. Behind him, 20 military helicopters appeared on the horizon. Ground forces emerged from surrounding buildings. Tactical teams with weapons Goku didn't recognize. Technology humming with strange energy signatures. And Homelander himself looked different. Controlled. Focused. His eyes held no rage now, only cold calculation. "You wanted a war?" Homelander smiled, but it was nothing like his manufactured publicity smile. This was genuine. Dangerous. "You got one." The helicopters opened fire. Not with conventional weapons. With something else. Energy weapons that made Goku's skin tingle. That felt almost like ki blasts but wrong somehow. Artificial. Each shot carried strange radiation that his body instinctively recoiled from. Compound V weapons, Homelander called out over the chaos. Designed specifically to disrupt superhuman cellular structures. Took us years to develop. We've never field tested them before. Thank you for volunteering. The blasts hit like hammer strikes. Not painful, not yet, but each impact felt like his cells were being forced slightly out of alignment. Disruptive. Disorienting. Interesting. That actually feels weird, Goku admitted, dodging a concentrated barrage. "What is that?" "Your weakness." Homelander dove forward, fist cocked back. "Every superhero has one. We found yours." The punch came with more technique this time. Homelander had been watching, learning. The strike aimed for Goku's solar plexus. During the split second, he was off balance from dodging the energy weapons. It connected. Goku slid backward maybe 10 feet, boots scraping concrete. He looked down at the minor scuff marks on his GI, then back at Homelander with genuine surprise. "Oh, that one had some actual force. You've been practicing." "Shut up." Homelander's voice was raw. "Stop talking like this is a game. Stop acting like you're better than me. Stop." He attacked with everything, punches, heat vision, raw desperation translated into violence. The helicopters maintained their barrage. The ground forces advanced with those strange weapons. The remaining members of the Seven joined the assault, coordinated now, fighting as an actual team. And for the first time since arriving in this world, Goku had to try. Not much. Maybe 10% of his actual power. But enough that he wasn't just standing still anymore. Enough that he had to actually dodge some attacks, block others. The Compound V weapons were annoying, not dangerous, but disruptive enough that taking too many hits would slow him down. Finally, Goku grinned, his Saiyan blood singing with the joy of actual combat. This is more like it. He moved through the assault like water, flowing around attacks, redirecting energy, using minimal force to maximum effect. A-Train he'd already disabled. The Deep went down with a pressure point strike that bypassed durability. Black Noir lasted longer, actual skill backing his movements, but eventually succumbed to a nerve cluster tap that shut down his motor functions without injury. Starlight and Queen Maeve fought together, covering each other's weaknesses. They were good, genuinely skilled, but they weren't fighters. They were heroes who happened to fight. There was a difference. Sorry about this, Goku said, appearing between them. 2 quick strikes, gentle by his standards, and both women crumpled unconscious. That left Homelander and the military forces who'd switched tactics. Now they weren't shooting at Goku. They were shooting at the surrounding buildings, at the civilians who hadn't evacuated quickly enough, at anything that would force Goku to choose between advancing and protecting innocence. You bastards, Goku breathed. He split his attention. Impossible for anyone else, routine for him. Shadow clones would have been useful, but he'd never learned that technique. Instead, he simply moved fast enough to be in multiple places, catching falling debris, redirecting energy, weapon fire, evacuating civilians who'd frozen in panic, all while Homelander pressed his attack with renewed desperation. You can't save everyone, Homelander shouted. You can't be everywhere at once. Watch me. Goku accelerated. Not to his full speed, that would have caused sonic booms that might hurt people, but fast enough that he became a blur, an orange and blue streak that seemed to exist in 6 places simultaneously. Every civilian evacuated, every piece of debris caught, every misdirected weapon neutralized. And through it all, Homelander's attacks weathered and countered with minimal effort. How? Homelander's voice cracked. How are you this strong? Training. Goku appeared directly in front of him, close enough that Homelander could see his eyes. Not mocking, not arrogant. Sad. I told you before. You rely on power you didn't earn. Power someone gave you. But strength you work for? Strength you build through years of pushing past your limits? That's different. That's real. I am real. Homelander's fist crashed forward with everything he had left. Goku caught it gently. Held it. I know. And I'm sorry someone made you think you had to be perfect. But you're not fighting me. You're fighting yourself. He tapped Homelander's chest, the same spot where the Compound V had been injected decades ago, creating America's perfect hero. Homelander's eyes rolled back. He dropped like a puppet with cut strings. Goku caught him before he hit the ground, lowering him carefully to the plaza. All around them, the 7 lay unconscious but unharmed. The military forces had ceased fire, uncertain how to proceed against a target that had just neutralized their most powerful assets without breaking a sweat. And every camera in Manhattan had captured it all. Goku looked directly at the nearest news helicopter, knowing his face was being broadcast to millions. Vought lied to you, he said simply. They're hurting kids, and I'm going to prove it. Then he turned and walked through the main entrance of Vought Tower. No one tried to stop him. The interior of Vought Tower was surprisingly quiet. Goku had expected more resistance, security teams, automated defenses, maybe some hidden soups waiting in ambush. Instead, he found abandoned corridors and empty offices. The entire building had been evacuated, leaving only the hum of electronics and the whisper of ventilation systems. Smart. Get the civilians out before the alien warrior tears through your headquarters. He ascended through the building methodically, following his key sense toward the upper floors, where that distinctive blank space indicated heavy shielding. The research levels, where Vought kept its secrets. The elevator was disabled, so he simply flew up the central atrium, 100 floors in seconds, glass and steel blurring past. At the 95th floor, he encountered the first real barrier, a vault door 3 feet thick, designed to withstand nuclear strikes. Goku placed his palm against the cold metal, feeling the electromagnetic locks, the reinforced structure, the absolute certainty that nothing human could breach this barrier. He pushed. Metal groaned. Locks shattered. The entire door tore free from its frame like cardboard, tumbling down the atrium behind him. "Sorry about the property damage," he muttered to no one. Beyond the vault lay Vaught's crown jewels, laboratories filled with equipment he didn't understand, servers containing decades of research data, and most importantly, row upon row of refrigerated storage containing vials of glowing blue liquid. Compound V, thousands of doses, enough to create an army of superhumans. Goku stared at it all, feeling a deep unease. This was wrong. All of it. Taking something as personal as power and bottling it like a soft drink. Injecting it into children without consent. Building an empire on manufactured heroes who never learned what real strength meant. Impressive, isn't it? Goku spun. Madeline Stillwell stood in the laboratory entrance, perfectly composed despite the chaos her company had just endured. Behind her, a dozen screens showed news coverage of the plaza battle, each channel replaying his casual dismantling of the Seven. "You destroyed my heroes," she said conversationally. "Humiliated them on live television. Cost Vought approximately $30 billion in market value in the last hour alone." "I knocked them out," Goku corrected. "They're fine. And I warned you this would happen if you didn't let me help those kids." Those assets represented years of investment, carefully controlled experiments designed to their children. Goku's voice cut through her corporate doublespeak. Not assets, not investments. Children who were stolen from their families and hurt. Madeline's smile never wavered. "You're naive. Beautifully, refreshingly naive. You actually believe in heroes. In right and wrong. In simple moral absolutes." She stepped closer, heels clicking on polished floor. "But the world doesn't work that way. Vought provides order, structure. We give people heroes to believe in, which prevents chaos. We make the hard choices so civilians don't have to. By torturing kids? By ensuring humanity's future." Her voice carried absolute conviction. Compound V is evolution. The next step in human development. Yes, there are costs. Yes, some subjects don't survive the process. But the alternative is stagnation, weakness, vulnerability to threats we can't even imagine yet. "Threats like me?" Goku asked quietly. "Threats like you." Madeline gestured at him. "You're proof that Vaught's mission is necessary. An alien with godlike power who appeared from nowhere. What if you'd been hostile? What if you decided to conquer instead of rescue? Compound V is humanity's defense against beings like you. Except it's not." Goku moved to the Compound V storage, examining the vials. "These people you're creating, they're not warriors. They're not trained. They're just people with power they didn't earn, no discipline to control it, and a corporation telling them what to do. That's not defense. That's just control. Control is necessary. Without it, people would be free to make their own choices." Goku picked up a vial, watching the liquid catch the light. Good ones and bad ones. But at least they'd be their choices, not yours. He crushed the vial. Blue liquid splattered across the floor, hissing as it made contact with air. "Stop." Madeline's composure finally cracked. "That's worth more than." Goku moved through the storage systematically, crushing vial after vial. Decades of research. Billions in development costs. The foundation of Vaught's entire empire. Destroyed in seconds. "No." Madeline lunged forward, but Goku was already done. Thousands of doses, gone. The refrigeration units sparked and died, contaminated beyond recovery. "You've destroyed everything," she whispered, staring at the wreckage. "Years of work. Humanity's best defense against. Against what? Goku turned to face her. Where I come from, we've faced gods, planet destroyers, beings who could erase entire universes. And we stopped them not with drugs or manufactured powers, but with training, with discipline, with people who chose to be strong instead of having strength forced on them. Your world isn't this world. No, Goku agreed. But maybe it could be. Maybe if you stopped trying to control everyone, people would surprise you. He walked past her toward the servers, toward the data that Butcher needed. The evidence that would expose Vaught's crimes. You won't make it out of here. Madeline's voice was cold now, stripped of pretense. I've authorized lethal force. Every government asset we own. Every military contract. Every. I know. Goku began downloading data to a device Huey had given him. The kid had explained how it worked 3 times before Goku pretended to understand. But they won't shoot at me. Not with every camera in the city watching. Not when I'm carrying evidence of what you've done. Evidence can be discredited. Disappeared. We have lawyers. You have lawyers, Goku interrupted, but you don't have Homelander anymore. Not the way you did. I broke him, Miss Stillwell. Not physically. He'll recover from that. But I showed him he's not invincible. Not perfect. Not the apex predator you made him believe he was. That doubt? It's going to eat at him. And eventually, he's going to start asking questions you don't want to answer. Madeline stared at him with something approaching respect. You're not just strong. You're dangerous. I'm just someone who keeps promises. The download completed. Goku pocketed the device. I promised a father I'd find his daughter. I promised those kids they'd be safe. And now I'm promising you, if Vought comes after them again, I'll be back. And next time, I won't be gentle with your building. He turned to leave, then paused. One more thing. You asked what humanity would do against threats like me. The answer is simple. You'd find someone stronger. Train them. Help them grow. That's how it works. You don't create heroes with drugs. You inspire them through example. And you think you're that example? Madeline's laugh was bitter. A naive alien who believes in fairy tales? No. Goku smiled. But maybe I can be a start. He launched through the ceiling, not violently, just phasing through floors with precise key control, and emerged into Manhattan sunlight. Below, emergency services tended to the 7. News crews jockeyed for position. And somewhere in Brooklyn, Butcher and his team watched everything unfold according to plan. Goku's phone, another piece of Earth technology he barely understood, buzzed. A text from Huey. Got it. All evidence secured. Kids are safe. You're officially a legend. He smiled at that, thinking of Chi-Chi's reaction when he eventually got home and explained he'd accidentally started a revolution in another universe. She'd probably hit him. Then make him explain it 3 more times. Then hit him again for good measure. But first, he had to actually get home. Goku closed his eyes, reaching out with his senses, trying to feel for that crack in dimensional space that had brought him here. Nothing. Whatever accident had pulled him through was gone now, the path closed. Which meant he was stuck. At least temporarily. Below, Homelander stirred, consciousness returning. Their eyes met across the distance. The broken hero and the alien who'd shattered his worldview. No words passed between them. None were needed. Goku flew away, not toward Vaught's enemies, not toward any particular destination. Just away, into the sky, giving Homelander space to process everything that had happened. Behind him, the world continued its slow transformation. Social media erupted with theories, debates, and hope. Vaught's stock plummeted as investigations were launched. The boys distributed evidence to every media outlet simultaneously, a coordinated information bomb that even Vaught's lawyers couldn't suppress. And in a safe house in Boston, Emma Corsetti was reunited with her father, who held her like she might disappear again if he let go. Goku felt that reunion through his key sense, the pure joy, the relief, the love. It made the homesickness a little easier to bear. He'd done what he came to do, kept his promise, helped people who needed helping. Now, he just had to figure out how to get home. But knowing his luck, that would probably involve fighting something even stronger than Homelander. Which, honestly, didn't sound too bad. This world could use some real challenges. Real growth. Real heroes. Goku grinned at the sky and accelerated, chasing the horizon, wondering what tomorrow would bring. 3 weeks passed before Goku found his way home. It happened on a Tuesday unremarkably, when Bulma's dimensional scanner, hastily built after Goku's disappearance, finally locked onto his energy signature in an adjacent universe. The retrieval was messy, painful, and involved Vegeta complaining loudly about having to help. But eventually Goku tumbled through a portal back onto familiar Earth. Chi-Chi hit him exactly as predicted, twice. But before he left the boy's universe, before the dimensional walls closed again, Goku had done something unexpected. He'd spent those 3 weeks training Starlight and Queen Maeve, teaching them real martial arts, showing them that power without discipline was just noise. Homelander, he'd left alone. Some people had to find their own path. Vought International survived, corporations that large never truly die. But it changed. Investigations forced reforms. Compound V testing on children became federal crime. The 7 disbanded and reformed as something more genuine, less manufactured. And sometimes, late at night, people swore they could see an orange and blue figure in the sky, watching over the city. A reminder that real heroes existed. That power could be earned, not just taken. That promises mattered. Back on his Earth, Goku returned to his training with Whis, pushing past new limits, preparing for threats he couldn't yet imagine. But sometimes, between sessions, he wondered about that other world. About Butcher and his crew. About those 12 kids growing up free. About whether Homelander ever learned what it meant to be more than perfect. He'd probably never know. But that was okay. He'd kept his promise. And in the end, that was all that mattered.